Good morning everyone, my name is kRIEGER and today we will be taking a look at my match against Notnonlokill. So as you can see on screen, it just started with the 5 minutes on aggression phase, so a bit of context here. Notnonlokill, who won the tournament, big congrats to him once again. Basically after the match, wanted to have a 1 vs 1 against me. So yeah, this is this match. And so it's the same rules as the tournament, everything is identical, and as you can see me do my setup. So yeah, this was the beginning of the match. We're on Pioneer Pass, which seems to be Notnonlokill's favorite map. So if you are playing against him, you might want to ban this one, because as far as I can see, he's pretty good. A friend of his was hosting, Pro V Teller. Just FYI, and he might have modified a few things in the vanilla game, so like building stuff, so it might be a bit different, because if the host has a modded game, it will affect every player in the session. So as you can see myself right there planning with many different building tasks. The current record to get 8 halberdiers and 2 conquering wards, which is significantly, it's basically the same as any other ward, is 4 minutes and 4 seconds from Notnonlokill, so my opponent. And so I did the only thing I could to really prepare myself for this match, and I drilled in the preparation time. The 5 minutes on aggression phase, I knew that this was the only way I could gain an advantage whatsoever for against my opponent. So what I did in order to prepare for this match, because in the Castle Story tournament you might need preparation. So what I did was I set the time on my phone on 4 minutes and then just started it. And I had to get like 8 halberdier kits within those 4 minutes, and it took me a few attempts, but at the end of it, I got it done, I managed it. By the way, if you want to check out the video of Notnonlokill where he does his 4 minutes and 4 second run, it's on YouTube. You can, I think, pretty easily find it by just looking for it, or his YouTube channel. But yeah, so we are roughly a few minutes in. It should end shortly. You can see by the stuff I'm having like 4 lances right now, no helmets yet. My iron working is starting now, so I'm doing everything I can. And yeah, what else is there to say? Well, basically, my opponent, he did this in his video by just having a blueprint, which you might notice that I did not use. I'm not a really big fan of blueprint. Plus, you always need like the space to fit it somewhere. And I didn't know if I would have the space or if it would be possible. You can see me there doing a misplacement accidentally. But yeah, everything is going pretty quickly because, when you're playing this match, obviously, you don't know when the non-aggression phase is gonna end. And on the other hand, the referee can tell you, but there's like not a timer on which you can look, and plus the timer on the top left is not really on time because you start the match before the timer starts. So it's always a bit of a delay, so you have to guess it, and you just have to memorize when the non-aggression phase starts. But yeah, so everything I did was in order just to get those 8 halberdiers as soon as possible. Maybe try to get a ward, but I knew that like in my time trials, so to say, I never really achieved this. So my goal right now, 1 minute left. Okay, so things are heating up. And yeah, there you can see I have like 3 blueprints. 2 of them are like from the workshop, and then there's this Tower of Doom, which I made like literally 20 minutes or like maybe a few hours before the match, but like I didn't have it before. And so the idea is, because since there's this 5 minutes on aggression phase, the idea is to have like those little towers. So you put just like the sentinel wards on top, and they are gonna shoot down. And since they will be ready as soon as the match starts, they are able to counter most halberdiers, especially if your people are there to defend it. And you can see, my setup. Let me know what you think of it, by the way, because I just knew that I had to do this really quickly because, I just observed Notnonlokill win the tournament, and I think he maybe lost 1 or 2 matches or maps like in total. So You know, it was a bit tense. I definitely prepared, and yeah, I knew that the non-aggression phase was gonna end there, so I called everyone to weapons and just immediately sent them out. And you can see on the minimap, he already had one conquering ward down, and was already having a huge lead on me. Probably finished it 1 minute before. And then there's another factor which you need to talk about when you're playing. So just me taking a look at his base because he was digging in the ground, doing his strategy, which worked well in the finals, and which I wanted to check out for sure. So this was definitely a match I was looking out for. But yeah, the problem is if there's a 5 minute non-aggression phase, which most of the time there is, then there's also the issue of oh wait, and there comes the enemy attack. And actually what I did not notice is you can see I was totally in the base and he was, well, just coming by and running towards me. And so he had also 6 halberdiers, so at this point I was already at a big of a back foot because yeah, he was just able to single one of my halberdiers out. And so yeah, I had to basically try to do the same. But the problem is that I never really took part in any PvP, or I participated in a tournament a long time ago, like the one Castle tournament from maybe 2018, which I won actually. But yeah, I never did like in recent times any sort of competitive match whatsoever. And so he just has the advantage. I mean, at this point, he could just like send even one guy in my base, and the match would be won for him. But yeah, so I went into his base, so he already had like the one conquering ward, and like I had 3 guys left, the match is lost. I just tried to be like as annoying as possible, and maybe even try to get a kill or whatsoever, and maybe like if he leaves his base unattended. But yeah, I have no one left in my base. This is already a GG, because that's the problem. If you lose your halberdiers like this. And what I was going to say is that he, Notnonlokill, he knew who to click. What maybe is not so visible is that there was quite a bit of lag, actually roughly over 200 ping, roughly 200. And so even clicking on the enemies is at this point actually an issue, because the time it takes you to click and then like for your guy to do the attack, well, there's a big delay, so to say. So it's quite confusing and not at all like single player. So yeah, there was this going on, and so yeah, I lost basically all my people. I just respawned 2 of them. Otherwise, it would have been GG for me, because if the tournament rules apply, so if none of them would have been alive, then yeah, this would have been it. But I was able to respawn 2 people, but let's be honest here, it's not gonna be a heroic comeback. I mean, yeah. I'm just ordering my 2 guys to equip like the halberdier kits in a second, and then it's gonna be a GG. But yeah, other than that, nothing more epic is gonna happen. But yeah, as I was actually surprised that he was going to rush me, because I thought, like, we didn't play any matches together whatsoever. Like, he couldn't possibly know if I was a good or a bad player. I guess that since he won the tournament, he was on a pretty big ego, because, well, you just won a tournament. I mean, obviously you're the best. But yeah, so I thought that maybe he wasn't going to rush me, but I think since in his strategy he always was going to have like the 8 kits and the 2 conquering wards or even sentinels ready, it wasn't really a question about rushing or not, just being ready. And since he was ready before the non-aggression phase was over, the rush was never really an option, to be honest. So now I'm just equipping everyone and I'm trying to maybe get a kill out of it or anything. But the problem is, I think, since I didn't have any conquering sentinel wards to defend my base or anything, I really didn't stand a chance. Because if, for example, I would have had 3 guys with weapons and he would have had 6 halberdiers, and I would have maybe had like 2 conquering sentinels on the towers, maybe there was a chance for me to swing it back around, like maybe just like kill one guy, maybe kill a second, protect, don't lose my guys, especially with the tournament rules, which stated that if you lose all your guys, it's GG. But yeah, at this point I just said GG, because he's now going at the rack at the end, and even though I have 2 people, I have no weapons left whatsoever, so he literally could just destroy my crystal at this point. But yeah, it was a fun match, to be honest. I definitely liked it, because it was a really long time since I played it, and it allowed me to see like the game from the point of view of the players, which I obviously couldn't have done or couldn't have witnessed before. I had like the 3rd person, the observer, who knew everything. But yeah, I really much enjoyed fighting against him, and apparently after the game he said I lasted longer than he expected, so I'm gonna take this as a compliment. And yeah, you can see me at the end just going for the cinematic shot, and yeah, that's a GG. and I'll see you for the second match in a second.